endless days, those sacred days you gave me. I'm thinking of the days. I won't forget a single day, believe me. Days I remember all my life. Days when you can't see wrong from right. You took my love, but then I knew that very soon you'd leave me. But it's alright, now I'm not frightened of this world, believe me. Thank you for the days, those endless days, those sacred days you gave me. I'm thinking of the days. I won't forget a single day, believe me. I bless the light, I bless the light that shines on you, believe me. And though you're gone, you're with me every single day, believe me.
Good evening. Welcome to our live stream here at our 5th anniversary, the 5th anniversary BEC or Birmingham Enterprise Community. My name's Daniel Evans, Chief Executive of Birmingham Enterprise Community. Really great to be joined by a whole variety of people here at the event tonight. We thought before we jump into the main part of the event, we'd do a few interviews, catch up with a few guests. So I'm going to pass across to two people to start us off. One, Lex, who's going to be your presenter for the next 15, 20 minutes or so, and one of our mentors, fabulous Mike Allen as well. So Lex, I'm going to let you take this from here. Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you, Lex.
Thank you very much. So just to kick things off, would you mind giving a brief introduction of who you are and your sort of relationship with BEC?
Sure, I'm Mike Allen. I'm a business doctor and I've been a mentor for BEC for about 3 years now, I think.
Amazing. And what's your sort of reflection on BEC over the past 5 years?
I think it's an interesting organisation. It does some fantastic work. And one of the things I've noticed is that you meet some extraordinary people that are either working on the team or who've come through the programme. So that's UK-based, South American. We did some work with the Canadian Embassy last year. So a whole range of people, most of whom seem to have a real entrepreneurial spirit. So that gives you energy, mixing with people like that.
100%. And what would your sort of key piece of advice be to anyone sort of starting out with the new business?
I would say there are two things. The first one is think like a customer, because it's your customers who decide to buy from you, and they will only buy if they have a problem that needs to be solved that they think you can help them solve. So that's the first thing. If you think like a customer and you can solve one of their most pressing problems, then I suspect you've got a ready-made market for you. And the second thing is a bit of planning does help. So the phrase "start with the end in mind" helps massively. Understand what you're trying to create and why, and then work back with the key steps. So those would be my two top tips.
That's amazing. Well, thank you very much. I think we're going to be moving on to our next guest.
All right, Alex. Good
stuff. Yeah, thank you very much.
See you later.
Cheers. Hello. Would you mind just doing a brief introduction to the viewers?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Dr. Richard Fallon from the Technology Supply Chain.
And what's your relationship with BEC?
So I've known Dan Evans since I did a lecture back in the day at the University of Birmingham. That's before he set up BEC, and we got on very well. I was talking about business, and we all went to the bar later on, had a bit of a chat. We got on, and he just said, contacted me about a year later, said, "I'm doing this BEC thing." I said, "Oh, that sounds really cool." And yeah, that's how we know each other.
And so what's your reflection? And what's your reflection on BEC over the past 5 years?
Oh, BEC's been brilliant, because at the TSC we partner with BEC because we all offer similar things but for different target markets. I think what Daniel's done has been absolutely amazing. I think BEC's gone a really good journey, some interesting stuff. People coming on board, they've engaged with a lot of massive organisations, engaged globally as well. Did a phenomenal job.
Amazing. And is there any sort of key piece of advice you'd have for anybody starting a new business in 2024?
Yeah, I would say anybody starting a business, always start off with your market research. Find out who's out there who's going to buy your product or service, and if they're willing to pay what you do. I do meet a lot of companies who develop something, but they haven't found out if there's really a market for it and how much people will pay for it.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. I think we're going to be moving on to our next guest. Thank you very much. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you. You too.
Questions?
I am indeed. Okay. We're just live streaming. Do you mind standing just here? Just a little bit more. Thank you. So for the people at home, do you mind just giving a brief introduction to who you are?
Yeah, so my name's Fiona Latter. I'm a programme manager at the West Midlands Combined Authority. So I design and run a number of support programmes to support SMEs in the region.
Amazing. And what's your relationship with BEC?
So I've known BEC. I was just asking Dan, actually. I think we've known each other since 2020. So I was running a program called the Creative Scale-Up Program. They helped me recruit many of the businesses for that program. We run a few workshops there. And also we did some focus group activity towards the end, which we held at their offices as well. So they were a great partner for us in terms of recruiting businesses onto the program.
Amazing. And what's your reflection of BEC over these past 5 years?
Well, I just can't believe it's 5 years. Actually, it's gone really quickly. But the amount of work they've done is just fantastic. to see them here now in this new office space is amazing. Reflect on the fact that they've won a new contract with us recently, which is great. So great. I mean, I just remember the guys when they were literally a startup business, like starting up, and to see them now with some of the contract wins behind them and the achievements they've made is amazing.
Amazing. Well, what would you say is your favourite thing about Birmingham Enterprise Community?
So they're just very responsive, I think would be the first thing I'd say. Whenever I phone them, they always seem to pick up the phone to me immediately. And they're very responsive with some kind of creative ideas and creative thinking. They're very collaborative as well. They're very open to collaborative working, which I think is a real plus. And they're just a really nice bunch of people. And I look forward to doing more work with them.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. I think we're going to be moving on to our next guest. Enjoy the evening.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. You're the next guest. Thank you very much. We're just live for the people at home who can't make it today. Do you mind just giving a brief introduction as to who you are?
Sure. My name's Andy Collier. I have been a mentor for the founders of BEC since before BEC.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So I guess that's your sort of relationship with BEC over this past 5 years.
I came back from 10 years in New Zealand, landed in Birmingham, looked around for things to do, got involved with the university entrepreneurship support side of things. Actually thought there's a better way of doing this. Got introduced to Dan. I'd encouraged Dan to break the mold and go beyond the university structure.
Amazing. And what's your sort of reflection of BEC over these past 5 years?
I think it's done more than it set out to achieve to do. I think the founders are perhaps a little bit too tough on themselves in recognising what they've done. But when you look at the scores on the doors over there, 21 countries, thousands of businesses, thousands of entrepreneurs, you will find that what BEC does really well is put across the simple things that people don't know they don't know. And that's why I encourage them to aspire to go beyond 21 countries.
That's amazing. Well, thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.
Good work, Alex.
Cheers. Ready?
It's all very spontaneous.
Yes. No worries. Very, very. It's okay. Well, we're just live. Oh, sorry. We're just live for the people at home.
Oh, right. Okay.
If you don't mind.
They're hearing me discussing whether you want my glasses on or not.
Yes. If you don't mind just giving a brief introduction as to who you are.
So I'm Pam Waddle. I'm the director of the Innovation Alliance for the West Midlands, and I'm an interim NED on BEC.
Oh, amazing. So what's your relationship with BEC?
So we've worked with BEC for a number of years. So the Innovation Alliance is as the name says, it's an alliance of organisations interested in innovation entrepreneurship in the West Midlands. And BEC's always been an important part of our ecosystem. They've been involved in various events that we've run in the past. But for the last few months, I've been acting as a NED on the interim board.
Amazing. And what's your sort of reflection of BEC over these past 5 years?
So I think BEC's grown from not very much to a really successful organisation. I love the way they network. I love some of the projects that they've been involved with. I really like that they're focused on social enterprise and on sustainability, and I hope that can grow in the future.
Amazing. And is there anything particular, like what's your favourite thing about BEC?
The people who work here. They're lovely.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. I think we've got another guest coming on. Hello. So we're just live for the people at home.
On video?
Yes.
I wish I was wearing my jumper before and no, I was going to be on a live feed.
No worries. Do you mind just giving a brief introduction as to who you are?
Yeah, so I'm Sam Allen Ralph. I'm from Barclays Eagle Labs. And yeah, I'm here to support the BEC guys, support Dan and all the board as well. So yeah.
Amazing. And so what's your relationship with BEC?
Dan was probably one of the first people that I met in the ecosystem. Really showed me the ropes of who to know, who to speak to, the businesses that they're supporting, how we can collaborate and work together through the Eagle Labs side of things as well. So yeah, that's where we stumbled across each other at, I think it was like a networking event last January. So it just took off from there and just been working and collaborating ever since.
Amazing. And what's your sort of reflection of BEC over these past 5 years?
I mean, I haven't been around for the 5-year journey. I've been around for the last year, 13, 14 months. But I mean, I've introduced a couple of businesses to Dan and to the BEC guys, and the feedback that I get every time is like they've just helped me take my business to another level. They've really opened my mindset, and they're a great asset to have in the ecosystem. They're great to have from an Eagle Lab perspective as well. The support that we offer as well, kind of the collaboration kind of fits in really nicely.
Amazing. And just to finish off, is there any sort of key piece of advice you'd give to anyone starting a business in 2024?
Yeah, get to know your ecosystem, get to know everyone that is in the ecosystem. A founder said to me yesterday when she was talking to a bunch of uni students with myself from University of Birmingham, she said, like, understanding and networking, getting your face out in the ecosystem, because you could come to an event like tonight and introduce yourself to someone, and they could be a VC, they could be an angel investor, and you might not be investor ready then, but they'll know who you are from getting your face around the ecosystem. And in 6 to 12 months, when you're walking into a room with a pitch deck for your business, they're going to remember the times that they've seen you out networking and the graph that you've put in. So yeah, if you're going to start a business, speak to BEC, speak to Eagle Labs, speak to everyone in the ecosystem, get as much support as you can, and make the most of it.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. We've got another guest. Have a lovely evening.
For the feed as well, Lex is part of Eagle Labs, just to let you know.
Amazing. Hello. So, would you mind? We're just live for the people at home.
Okay.
Would you mind just giving a brief introduction as to who you are?
Yeah, so Jamie Pratt from Stockton Business Consulting, and I've been working with BEC since its inception, actually 5 years, as a business mentor.
Amazing. So, what would your reflection be of BEC over these past 5 years?
Well, I can't believe how quickly they've grown. I mean, when BEC first started out, and we had the kick-off meeting, which I think was in a Santander Bank, I think it was back in the day, and the small group that we had back then as the first cohort, and then seeing how it's grown has just been unbelievable. And the passion that the guys have got in terms of driving that forward and breaking internationally has just been fantastic.
That's amazing. And is there any sort of key piece of advice you'd give to any founders out there or anyone looking to start a business in 2024?
Yeah, so I use a phrase which is you don't know what you don't know. So talk to people. And there is so much support that's out there, so much free support out there, but people generally want to mentor and help and support. So just talk to people, ask the right questions, get introductions to people, because ultimately the people in this room tonight just want to help businesses.
Very much so. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely evening. I think we've got another guest lined up.
No problem.
Cheers. Hello.
Hi.
We're just live for the people at home.
Oh.
Yes. Do you mind just giving a brief introduction as to who you are?
Sure. Hi, I'm Naomi Nash, and I'm the head of community and collaboration at Tech West Mids.
Amazing. And so, what's your relationship with BEC?
Oh, well, I've known Daniel and BEC since inception. Dan came to me 5 years ago asking for help and support, getting to know the ecosystem. Kind of more than happy to help. As somebody that's been supporting kind of tech startups and scale-ups over the last decade now, it's always great to have somebody who's a doer, who can actually deliver. And I mean, the stats speak for themselves. And yeah, they've done a really, really good job. They've really caught a market that was needed to be supported. And yeah, they've just kind of taken the region by storm and the world.
So what would your sort of overall reflection be of BEC over these past 5 years?
I think they have, like I said, they've come in and supported those that really need it. People with a social kind of enterprise side of things, some people that wouldn't necessarily have the opportunities, and given them the support, the help, funding in some cases, to help them grow and succeed. They are a really, really impactful organisation within the whole the whole startup ecosystem in the West Midlands as well. And it wouldn't be the same without them.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely evening. I think we've got another guest lined up somewhere. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we want people to come down? Yeah.
So,
Good evening, everybody. Can we start making our way down towards this side of things? Very loud. Good evening, everybody. Can we please start making our way down to this side? Obviously, if you've got a drink, please bring it down. Okay, everybody. First and foremost, thank you very, very much for coming and celebrating 5 years of VEC. And first up, I'm going to introduce one of our board members, Debbie Asinda.
Hello, everybody. It's lovely to be here tonight. And believe it or not, 5 years ago, I was actually standing there introducing Daniel in a very similar position as we are now, to actually setting up BEC. So it's been 5 years, and I can't actually believe it. I'd like to go a little bit further back from 5 years ago. So probably about 6 years ago, I hope Daniel doesn't mind me saying this, I met a very fresh-faced young man at university who had a bit of a dream. Like any good entrepreneur, he'd identified the gap in the market. And at that point, it was all about how do we keep these dynamic young people that come to our universities in our city and enable them to develop businesses. So BEC had a very clear aim at that point. But 5 years later, as we all know, we've been through a lot in those 5 years. And if you're in business, you certainly have been challenged throughout that period. So we've seen Brexit, not least of which has caused its own challenges. We've seen important issues like Black Lives Matter and BEC rise to the surface and how important those issues are to respond to. We've actually seen the worst effects of climate change as well. So a lot's been going on in that time. We've actually seen the death of the Queen and the coronation of the King. Lots and lots going on that BEC have had to swear with a lot of other people to actually make sure that their services and what they offer is relevant. So I've actually got some notes here, so I don't forget to include some of the very important figures. So during that period, we can see that they've been working with startups and scale-ups, female founder programs, ethnic minority entrepreneur programs. They've provided support for international businesses and support for social enterprises. And I'm very excited to be standing here tonight to actually say that they've had their biggest contract ever, which Dan actually announced on Monday, which is supporting social enterprises in partnership with Enterprise Nation. So perhaps we could give a bit of a clap for that. They're a social enterprise themselves, and Dan has always been very concerned about making sure that it gives back. Just to give you some figures as well. The key figures really, they have supported 2,200 entrepreneurs, they've supported the businesses from 21 different countries, they've helped 360 individuals and trained them in green skills, and they've had over 70 million raised in funding by BEC Alumni to date. So from this very young man who started with a bit of a dream 6 years ago, and he's still very young to me, I must say, but he's actually moved forward for 5 years throughout that period with a determination. And yes, I'm on the board, but I've watched from the sidelines with awe at what he's actually achieved. So I'd like to now introduce you to Daniel Evans, and hope you'll be with us for the next 5 years.
I'm going to take it on. I don't know how to follow that. Oh, jeez. Well, thank you first and foremost for everybody that's come out tonight. This for me kind of says it all. You know, the friends, the partners, the mentors we work with, of course, our really special community of entrepreneurs, of change makers, of those people that are doing, you know, all these credible things in terms of why we've set up in the first place. Another mention as well, somewhere over that way, there we go, a little camera. We are also live streaming this event. As Debbie mentioned, we've been really fortunate to work with a huge number of businesses from overseas. So a lot of them, a lot of our partners in a variety of countries, we thought, what's the best way for them to be able to join us tonight? And I thought live streaming was the kind of best way to do that. So if anybody watching on our live stream, hello, wish you could be with us here in person, but at least you're able to kind of hear what's being said and engage with the event that way. So going back 5 years, so as Debbie said, a very different world, I think, 5 years ago that we were kind of found ourselves in. Myself as well, obviously at kind of university at the time, doing my masters and I guess trying to figure out my own place in the world. For me, I think the one bit that I kind of had in my background was always that need to, wanting to start a business, not knowing how to start a business, and thinking, well, surely there's something within this. There's people also that have these incredible ideas, they want to make impact, they want to kind of do these crazy things. How do we get them started, but how do we help them to really grow and develop as well? And really it was through that the kind of roots and initial idea of BEC was born. As Debbie said, early on starting with students, with graduate entrepreneurs, but really broadening in scope over that 5-year period to supporting everything from food and drink through to rockets into space. Is the kind of breadth that I always like to kind of include. When we did the initial launch, we really set this out of a purpose as well, in terms of the impact that we wanted to make. As a not-for-profit itself, as a social enterprise itself, it wasn't just starting businesses for the sake of starting businesses. It was actually all about the impact that they would have on our communities. We said at the time some massive opportunities in Birmingham. We were several years out for the Commonwealth Games, which has come and gone since then. Things like our kind of consistent record in terms of highest number of startups outside of London, but also highlighted a lot of these issues that we see within our communities around things like child poverty, homelessness, obviously more the macro issues around the environment, around climate change, around health emergencies, and saying, how do we play our part in that? How do we make sure that we are taking responsibility for pushing these agendas forward, but also equipping everybody that has these ideas, that wants to make a difference, to go out there and make some meaningful change. I think that's one of the things I'm proudest about over the last 5 years, is the phenomenal organisations that we've been able to work with, support and empower to make radical differences. Everything from, and we'll hear from him a little bit later, Chris Stephen standing tall, tackling issues around homelessness. We've worked with people doing cures for things like diabetic foot. We've looked at drone logistics for medical supplies. Again, solving some ridiculously big issues, and really we're there to support and enable them to do that. So for me, that's been one of the bits that I'm proudest about, having done this for 5 years. The past 12 months in itself, we've seen, I guess, a bit of a shift as an organisation, stepping up from, I think, those kind of the grassroots, the community part of what we do. But then, as Debbie said, kind of growing the team, growing our impact, growing what we're able to achieve in terms of the size of projects that we're able to take on. Fantastic to have, obviously, some incredible individuals around us, both in terms of the mentors, the team, obviously our board as well. But for me as well, I think a person who's not here tonight that I would like to just mention is Omran, because of course for a good while, obviously 4 of the years, this was something that we built up together. So for me, obviously, the work that we did together to lay these foundations, is incredible, and that needs to really be acknowledged. Because for him now moving into his next journey and what he's doing next, of course, everybody around that table, himself and everybody involved, it was a total team effort. It's never been about kind of one person or one person's agenda. So I just wanted to kind of make sure we acknowledge that as well for me. The future and what we're moving on to, and really why I think it's important to have all of you in the room today. We've really made sure that we kind of pushed and made sure we said, the people that we've worked with, yes, over the last few years, but also the people that we want to work with going forward. We have no plans to slow down what we're doing. We want to scale, we want to push, we want to make sure that, these figures, we double them, we treble them, we 10 times them, we keep going on this journey. So I really want to invite you all to join us in making that impact. Join us in these missions, join us in equipping these individuals with skills who can really go out there and change the world to move that forward. So for everybody here tonight who perhaps we know that we've not worked with or need to kind of do more with, this is your invitation to come, have coffee with me, let's really get on this and move this forward. And the final part then, I just want to kind of pass across to someone else. So to give you a bit of, jump into a housekeeping mode and a bit about tonight, we're doing several things. So number one, Behind me, we've got a fantastic little photo wall. So some memories, some behind the scenes things from the last 5 years, some of the entrepreneurs we work with, programs we worked with, late nights in the office where we've been kind of, putting all this work together. So really great to share that with you. We've got a bit of an activity on the back wall, really looking, I guess, forward to the next 5 years and what you perhaps would like to predict as part of our future for that 5 years. So definitely get involved with that. Food, drink, more food and drink. So we've got our kind of nacho bar set up. So please get involved with that and get yourself some nachos. Also, of course, drinks, please do help yourself as well. The final thing that we're doing, and I think I wanted to kind of leave this till last because for me, it brings it central back to what it's about. Not us as an organisation, but this special community of entrepreneurs that we've built. So thinking about tonight, thinking about what we're doing, we decided that actually we were going to kind of shine a bit of a spotlight on one in particular. One that I think really fits with that mark in terms of some of the social economy agenda that we're working on now. A fantastic organisation called Standing Tall. And we began working with Standing Tall in early 2022. They went through our Forward program, which is a program around kind of scaling organisations. As an accelerator program, a charity going through an accelerator program feels like a bit of a weird thing because it's usually tech businesses and that sort of stuff. But actually, we saw that there was fantastic room for growth within this organisation. And going from where they were then, where they were kind of working out of Birmingham, doing fantastic work there, to, as I'm sure Chrissy will tell you a little bit now, announcing a couple of weeks ago that they're now going to be in 6 cities across the UK. So that phenomenal scale journey. It's not just those high-tech scale-ups, it's the whole spectrum of businesses we support. So we're raising some money for Standing Tall. We've got a few raffle prizes, so we're doing a bit of a raffle, some fantastic prizes that have actually been donated by some of the businesses we work with as well. So it comes back really full circle. Please do get involved. Fantastic organisation doing fantastic stuff and really fitting with the spirit of BEC. So I'm gonna, before I kind of finish up, I'm just going to pass across to Christy for the next few minutes to tell you a little bit about Standing Tall. So please give them a warm welcome.
Hi everybody, thank you Daniel for that introduction. I just want to start off by saying that we probably all walk to work and we might see someone that we walk past and we think that there's nothing really that we can personally do to help the person that we saw yesterday and the day before. And I just want to challenge that. So I also want to challenge our perceptions about a certain person last year said it was a lifestyle choice. Don't need to go there. And also, there's no way off the streets for people that find themselves there. It's kind of the end of the road. And also that there's nothing that we as a group can do about homelessness. So I just want to challenge those preconceptions. So I started in Birmingham in 2020, had support from BEC, and last year we helped 20 people to move off the streets for good. The way we do it is we match the people we're helping with a stable job and a safe home. So it's the two together. We work with employers, matching them with full-time jobs with responsible employers, but we also match them with our hosts. These are people that have spare rooms in their home in Birmingham. So it's the combination of a stable job and a safe home, giving 20 people a realistic way over 12 months to get themselves back on their feet. So that's what we're doing in Birmingham. We're in Manchester and London, and we're starting in 3 more cities this year. So it's really cutting through. We're having great success, and BEC have been a big part of us growing. So we've got a raffle this evening, so if anybody wants to help raising money for us, it's a community issue. Businesses are working with us to provide jobs. People with spare rooms are working with us to welcome people into their homes, and obviously people are donating. So thank you for your support.
Yeah, really fantastic to support the Standing Tall guys. Again, really, again, a great example of one of those entrepreneurs that we've supported that's seen an issue, that's done something about it, and made that difference. So, from me, from the rest of the BEC team, thank you so much for being with us here tonight. It means the absolute world. To those of you who we've worked with over the last few years, we're, as I said, ready to keep at it and keep that work going. For those of you who we've not worked with or not been part of this community, we want to invite you in and be part of it, and look forward to seeing you all at the 10th anniversary in another 5 years' time. Thank you very much.